Eric Hackley shall be remembered as a great Fort Wayne historian who treasured and shared the truth about Black people and Native Americans in the United States. Our numerous discussions and debates captured on videotape depict enlightening and entertaining interactions between the Summit City Muhammad Ali and Fort Wayne's Howard Cosell. Hackley was the greatest. I will always love him. The Dean J. Television Show. Hosted by Dean Robinson. And now, Dean Robinson.
NBC News personality Megyn Kelly interviews Russian President Vladimir Putin during the June 2017 St. Petersburg International Economic Forum, where Kelly serves as a moderator for a panel discussion featuring Putin and other world leaders. Kelly's Putin interview is broadcast during the Sunday Night with Megyn Kelly series premiere on NBC. During the breezy 11-minute segment, Kelly fails to address the civil war in Syria that serves as a proxy war between the United States and Russia. That is an epic failure. Before slamming Putin for his, and I'm quoting Megyn Kelly here, his reputation for repression, corruption, murdering journalists, and jailing dissidents, Kelly spends 10 minutes on amateur hour questions about the 2016 U.S. presidential election, Russian hacking, Russian influence, Russian interference, Russian collusion with candidate Donald Trump, Russian blackmail against President Donald Trump, and Jared Kushner's Kremlin connections. This is from Sunday Night with Megyn Kelly, June 4th, 2017. Kelly says, "This is not my allegation. This is the conclusion of the 17 U.S. intelligence agencies and the others that I mentioned. What they say is that Russia not only hacked into the Democratic National Committee and hacked into Hillary Clinton's campaign emails, but that they also perpetuated a campaign of disinformation that involved putting out fake news stories through Russian-controlled entities like RT and Sputnik." Megyn Kelly says retired U.S. Army Lieutenant General Michael Flynn was hired and then fired as President Trump's national security advisor and is now being investigated for his Russian connections. She says in 2015, he attended an event with President Putin in Moscow. Putin says, "When I came to the event for our company, Russia Today, and sat down at the table, next to me, there was a gentleman sitting on one side." Megyn Kelly accuses Putin of spreading disinformation through fake news stories published by RT. RT is Russia Today. Kelly says Michael Flynn attended an event with President Putin in Moscow. Vladimir Putin says, "I came to the event for our company, Russia Today." So, what was this event attended by Michael Flynn and Vladimir Putin for our company, Russia Today? Press release. RT to mark its 10-year anniversary with International Conference on Media and Politics. Moscow, December 1, 2015. RT aired its first broadcast from its Moscow studios on December 10, 2005. Since then, what was once a single channel has grown into a global news network. To mark 10 years since its flagship English-language news channel aired its first broadcast, RT will host an event bringing together prominent politicians, foreign policy experts, and media executives from around the world. The conference, titled Information, Messages, Politics, The Shape-Shifting Powers of Today's World, will take place at Moscow's historic Metropole Hotel on Thursday, December 10, 2015. Among the speakers and panelists will be Jill Stein, a U.S. politician and the Green Party's 2012 presidential candidate, and Lieutenant General Michael Flynn, former head of the U.S. Defense Intelligence Agency, the country's main foreign military espionage organization. I've already produced a video about Russia Today, also known as RT. Russia Today is the Kremlin's TV news propaganda network founded by Russian President Vladimir Putin and Russian media czar Mikhail Lesin in 2005. U.S. Army Lieutenant General, retired, and espionage expert Michael Flynn celebrated Russia Today's 10th anniversary by attending a dinner party with Vladimir Putin in Moscow. New York Times, May 22nd, 2017 reports, Washington, Michael T. Flynn, President Trump's former national security advisor, misled Pentagon investigators about his income from companies in Russia and contacts with officials there when he applied for a renewal of his top secret security clearance last year, according to a letter released by Representative Elijah E. Cummings of Maryland, the top Democrat on the House Oversight Committee. Mr. Flynn, who resigned 24 days into the Trump administration, told investigators in February 2016 that he had received no income from foreign companies and had only insubstantial contact with foreign nationals, according to the letter. In fact, Mr. Flynn had sat 2 months earlier beside President Vladimir V. Putin of Russia at a Moscow gala for RT, the Kremlin-financed television network, which paid him more than $45,000 to attend the event and give a separate speech. His failure to make those disclosures and his apparent attempt to mislead the Pentagon could put Mr. Flynn in further legal jeopardy. Intentionally lying to federal investigators is a felony punishable by up to 5 years in prison. Separately, he is also facing legal questions over failing to properly register as a foreign agent for lobbying he did in 2016 on behalf of Turkey while advising the Trump campaign, which is also a felony. Megyn Kelly did not describe the broad, white-hot mess that is Michael Flynn, maybe because he's a really big mess. So we'll just focus on that Russia Today 10th anniversary gala that took place in Moscow on December 10, 2015. Let's wind the clock back a little further to Saturday, November 7, 2015. Russia Today founder Mikhail Lesin was found dead in the Washington, D.C. on November 7, 2015, 33 days before Russia Today's 10th anniversary party in Moscow on December 10, 2015. Sunday Night with Megyn Kelly reveals the photograph showing Michael Flynn sitting next to Vladimir Putin at the Russia Today dinner party, which is really just a screen capture from video footage depicting Michael Flynn sitting next to Vladimir Putin in a chair that should be occupied by Russia Today founder Mikhail Lesin. On January 25, 2017, the Wall Street Journal reports most TV networks seek to be paid in return for their channels. RT, Russia Today, has instead opted to pay for its network to be carried by major U.S. operators, including the nation's largest cable company, Comcast Corp., satellite TV operator, Dish Network Corp., and Charter Communications Inc., the second largest cable company. The Daily Beast says Dish Network and Time Warner Cable declined to comment on the terms of their business relationship with RT. Comcast did not return a request for comment. Megyn Kelly fails to disclose that her employer, Comcast Universal NBC Television, receives money from the Kremlin for carrying Russia Today on Comcast cable TV systems in major U.S. markets. Russia Today has offices and studios in Moscow, New York City, Miami, Los Angeles, and the Washington, D.C., where the founder of RT accidentally killed himself. Megyn Kelly paraphrases unnamed experts to say Russia perpetuated a campaign of disinformation that involved putting out fake news stories through Russian-controlled entities like RT. The bonds between RT, the Kremlin, Comcast, and NBC are forged with money and information. Government news operations like RT and corporate news operations like NBC spend money on espionage programs that convert information into propaganda for profit. Comcast Universal NBC Television pays Megyn Kelly between $15 and $20 million a year to make sure you don't know. Some people know about my public social commentary and overtly political video productions. Producing that stuff doesn't leave a lot of time for squabbling with Fort Wayne artists and musicians, even though these squabbles keep pulling me back in. Even though these squabbles are silly, they can be educational as well as highly entertaining. Fort Wayne artists and musicians are notoriously thin-skinned, which may be the result of Fort Wayne media failing to offer critical analysis of Fort Wayne art and music. Fort Wayne media, like What's Up magazine and the Journal-Gazette newspaper, never criticize local art. They preview it, promote it, and advertise it, but they never publish critical reviews. What's Up magazine publishes positive reviews of local music releases. When it comes to local stage plays, What's Up allows the producers and directors to write their own previews and reviews. Which brings me to Fort Wayne Whammy Slam, Jeff Landis Blast Sonny Taylor. This is about a video interview with Access Fort Wayne TV producer and personality Jeff Landis that I published on YouTube 2 years ago. Now back then, Jeff Landis really wanted to win a What's Up Reader's Choice Award, something fierce. I mean, he really wanted that award bad. Now this award is also known as the Whammy. Now I don't think anyone has won more whammies than Fort Wayne singer-songwriter Sonny Taylor, also known as Sonny Taylor Berry. Now this is what Sonny Taylor says on her Our Stage page online. My name is Sonny. I was born just before the Super Bowl 13 pregame. I've been singing since halftime. I began playing guitar 16 years ago. I'd like to think I've gotten better at it since, but that's up for debate. I've independently released 3 albums and have recently released a 4-song EP. I've won boxes full of writing and performance awards from a regional entertainment magazine, www.whatsup.com, which leads me to believe I'm not so bad at this music stuff. Sonny says she has won boxes full of Whammy awards from What's Up magazine. Boxes. Boxes, people. Boxes full of those mugs. When you go to Sonny Taylor's house, them Whammy boxes are all over that piece. You can't bat an eyelash without knocking over a stack of Whammy boxes. Okay? Alright. During the 2015 interview with Jeff Landis, we addressed the disparity of What's Up accolades between Jeff Landis and Sonny Taylor. Let's take a look. Roll a clip.
You know what's cool? If you win the Whammy this year, you'll only need to win about 40 more of those Whammys to catch up to Sonny Taylor.
Sonny Taylor. Yeah, she seemed like a spoiled, stuck-up little brat.
Why do you say it?
Okay, you know how I am on Facebook. I'm very open, very blunt about everything. Well, she commented on something on one of my friends' pages. Next thing you know, I noticed her comment was there and she unfriended me. Then there's one time I said something about Doug Briscoe on What's Up magazine, said something about him, and she's like, said something to defend him and stuff like that. I don't remember what it was, but she just comes off cocky and arrogant.
Somehow, Sonny Taylor didn't see that clip until this month, and she didn't like it, not one bit. Here's what Sonny Taylor said to me through Facebook Messenger on May 7th. You have 24 hours to remove this slanderous interview with Jeff Landis from YouTube, or I will begin a defamation suit against you. Jeff also apologized with integrity and said he would also like it removed. And I honestly don't care what bearish whoever said. He is about as relevant as your desperate cable access show. Bearish Warish is somebody on YouTube who commented on the Sonny Taylor video. Bearish Warish doesn't care for Sonny Taylor stuff. Anyway, Sonny Taylor says, about me, Dean Robinson, everything about you is mediocre and a cry for attention. Your mom didn't hug you enough as a child, I suppose. You feed off of other people's discord. Does that feel good? To a psychopath is wood. You're hurt that I delete you. Glad to know I mean so much to you. Expect a call really soon. Dean J, LOL. P.S. I had an amazing show tonight and everyone sang along to my mediocre 4-chord songs. It was beautiful. So people, that was back on May 7th. Sonny Taylor texting me late night to talk about how my mom is not hugging me, to tell me about how mediocre I am, something about a psychopath, then threatens me with a lawsuit before telling me how great a performance went that night. I told Sunny I'm not taking the video down, and if she wants to sue me, it's her money to waste on a lawyer if she wants. See you in court. Because I think that would be fun. Me, being the silly guy that I am, thought this silly whammy matter would fade away. That was silly of me. So this is Saturday, today, May 26th. Sonny Taylor Berry talking to Jeff Landis. P.S. The lawsuit will not affect you. Dean chooses to leave up the video. He didn't have permission to use my photo either. You were just giving your opinion. Dean used to be cool. Not sure what happened. Although, I've heard some good theories. It seems that Sonny Taylor has come to peace with Jeff Landis calling her a spoiled little brat. Sonny actually says, you were just giving your opinion. But Sonny Taylor aims to sue the pants off this brother in Allen County Superior Court because everything about me is mediocre and a cry for attention. My mom didn't hug me enough as a child. I feed off of other people's discord. Does that feel good? To a psychopath, it would. That's actually a good rhyme, Sonny. You should perform it live on stage before I perform it live in court. Mitt Romney said years ago, corporations are people, my friend. He wasn't lying. Well, maybe he was lying about all that my friend stuff, but he was telling the truth about corporations being people in the United States. Look to the Code of Laws of the United States. You don't even have to look very far. It's on page 1 and page 2. The code says the words person, human being, child, and individual shall include every infant member of the species Homo sapiens who is born alive at any stage of development. Born alive refers to a human being who, upon expulsion or extraction from the mother, draws breath or has a beating heart. The words person and whoever include corporations, companies, associations, firms, partnerships, societies, and joint stock companies, as well as individuals. The word person refers to corporations according to the Code of Laws of the United States. Most people don't know about this stuff, so they think Mitt Romney was lying when he said, corporations are people, my friend. He was lying about being a friend, but he was telling the truth about corporations being people in the United States. Major US-based international corporations and foreign governments form partnerships based on using money and media to influence human behavior in the United States. According to the U.S. Code of Laws, Philadelphia-based Comcast Universal NBC Television is a person. The U.S. Code says San Francisco-based Wells Fargo and Company is a person. So let's talk about those mugs. In March 2010, the U.S. Treasury Department and the Department of Justice charged Wells Fargo and Wachovia Bank with fees totaling $160 million to end the government's criminal case against Wachovia for laundering $378 billion for Mexican drug cartels. Wells Fargo bought Wachovia Bank, then paid the fines they knew were coming. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau placed a $100 million fine on Wells Fargo and Company to settle the bank's current fake account fraud scandal. Wells Fargo maintains 25 locations in Fort Wayne, Indiana. The Journal-Gazette, the News-Sentinel, Wayne TV, WPTA-TV, WFFT-TV, and WOWO AM have not asked a single local Wells Fargo executive, manager, or employee about 2 million fraudulent Wells Fargo bank accounts created by 5,300 Wells Fargo workers. Instead, Wells Fargo pays TV stations and networks to run commercials about how sorry Wells Fargo feels about the whole matter and how they're cleaning up their act. Comcast, I didn't forget about you. Comcast is an international communications behemoth that includes the Comcast cable TV network, Universal Movies, Universal Music, Universal Theme Parks, NBC TV, CNBC, and MSNBC. The Russian government pays Comcast for carrying Russia Today, the Kremlin propaganda TV news network known as RT, in major markets on the Comcast U.S. cable TV system. Russia Today employs former MSNBC host Ed Schultz for a program called The News with Ed Schultz. Comcast Universal and all major Hollywood movie studios have distribution and/or production contracts with state-controlled companies in China. Channel News Asia reports Comcast is building a multi-billion-dollar Universal theme park in Beijing, China, as a joint venture with a state-backed tourism firm. Donald Trump came to Fort Wayne, Indiana in 2016 to scream, "We can't continue to allow China to rape our country. It's the greatest theft in the history of the world." The truth is Comcast and China are engaged in consensual communist entertainment business affairs. President Trump says he is not colluded with the Russian government. Comcast CEO Brian Roberts takes money from the Russian government for carrying the Russian government's news channel on cable TV in the United States. The Associated Press and executive data firm Equilar say Comcast CEO Brian Roberts earned $36.2 million in 2016. Comcast and Wells Fargo are extra human people who get away with doing stuff that results in prison time for regular human people who try to do the same thing. Local media could be reporting on this stuff, but they're not. Local TV stations can't report critically about Comcast because local TV stations receive programming fees from Comcast. The only time local TV stations do report critically about Comcast is when local TV stations are negotiating programming fees with Comcast. Wayne TV, the CBS affiliate in Fort Wayne, receives money from Comcast for programming. Wayne TV also receives money from Comcast for running Comcast TV commercials. Comcast receives money from the Kremlin for carrying Russia Today in the USA. Wayne TV news director Ted Lin says he had never heard of Russia Today before a few days ago in the month of May 2017. Ted Lin loves the puff piece produced by Wayne TV anchorman Brett Thomas about a local marketing campaign called What's Between the Buns. I like to call it Wayne TV, What's Up the Crack. Thomas spends almost 5 minutes during the newscast praising Kurt Henry, the brother of Fort Wayne Mayor Tom Henry, and his business endeavors on Main Street in Fort Wayne. Thomas calls Mayor Henry's brother the mayor of Main Street and the restoration reverend of this revival. Thomas also talks about how Kurt Henry acquired his Main Street properties during a building buying binge. Wayne TV anchorman Brett Thomas may have used up his alliteration dictionary, but he succeeded in thrilling news director Ted Lin. That's why pro-business, pro-government, public relations passes for news in Fort Wayne. That's why WOWO AM, conservative capitalist Christian Republican radio show host Pat Miller, says journalism is dead when he's not promoting Windows, Doors, and More, Best Blinds, Niagara Therapy, Edgerton Travel, Weight Loss Solutions, Tradewell Tax and Financial, Burger Auto, the Mosquito Squad, and other corporations willing to spend money for advertising at Federated Media. When it comes to news, Pat Miller does talk about liberal Hollywood decadence. Pat Miller also talks about billionaire Democrat donor George Soros giving money to Black Lives Matter. Pat Miller definitely talks about Hillary Clinton being paid by Goldman Sachs for corporate speeches. Pat Miller does not talk about President Trump's Secretary of the Treasury, Steve Mnuchin, who worked for George Soros and Goldman Sachs before producing numerous Hollywood movies like Suicide Squad for Warner Brothers and The Devil Wears Prada for 20th Century Fox. The Code of Laws says a person can be corporate or human. A corporation is not human. Media corporations are extra human beings that employ regular human beings to bombard other human beings with information that influences thought for the purpose of controlling human activity. Corporations are other than human beings exercising rights that should be reserved for regular human beings. Unfortunately, corporations are people, my friend. I'm only lying about being your friend.
Have I told you how sorry I am? Yeah, got to apologize, to the world, to everybody, I fell down, now I got to tell you about everything, all of the sex and golf, you got to know about it. Yeah, you know how sorry I am. I'm sorry, y'all. Yeah, for that sex I had, straying from Buddhism. I gotta get back to that stuff. I gotta grab it by the leg and hold on. Oh yeah, I'm sorry, y'all. Gotta say it to ya. Did you hear me now? I'm sorry, I apologize. Nike, I'm sorry, y'all. EA Sports, Electronic Arts, I'm sorry to you. PS3, Nintendo Wii, Microsoft, Xbox 360. I'm very, very sorry now, Gatorade. You quench my thirst so much better than H2O. It's better than that. So give my body what it needs, so I don't need all that sex. It's not like I'm David Duchovny out here. I ain't no Charlie Sheen, no. All I need is 18 holes, that's all. I'll only need 18 holes. And oh, I was oh so close to 18 holes, the 18 holes, Get hip to what's happening in the world with the Dean J Television Show every Saturday at 5 p.m. on Access Fort Wayne 2, right before The Fort Report with News-Sentinel writer Kevin Leininger. The Dean J Television Show presents news, social commentary, music, and entertainment from Summit City Noise producer Dean Robinson, also known as Summit City music recording artist Dean J. Watch the Dean J Television Show every Saturday at 5 p.m. right before the Fort Report with News-Sentinel writer Kevin Leininger on Access Fort Wayne 2. Access Fort Wayne 2 is Comcast Channel 57 and Frontier Channel 27. Consult your local TV listings, Facebook, and YouTube for the Dean J Television Show.